Rise up, live joy your way. From emotional intelligence through cognitive distortions, certified life and wellness coach Kamini Wood is on a mission to help people see the magnificence of their own unique human spirit. Through these small bites of self-visualization and self-confidence, you can have healthy relationships, success in business and career, and live the life you want to live. Rise up, live joy your way.
Hi there, welcome to another episode of Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me. And today we're going to dig into something that I think affects most of us, which is fear and courage. So I'm not just talking about any courage. I'm talking about that deep internal courage that keeps us moving even when fears are present. And what I say to all my clients, which is I'm human just like everybody else. I might do this work, but I absolutely have fears that come up, daily, because what we're talking about is, in life, things happen that we're not planning for, or challenges that we don't expect, which we have no control over. And, it's totally normal to feel scared or to feel fearful on whatever might be coming our way. But see, the thing is there's a difference between I feel the fear and then I stop moving because I start to let the fear overtake me, or I start to self-doubt, or I recognize the fear and I figure out how I want to move forward. And courage doesn't always mean I'm just going to brave face through it. It's really about paying attention to the fear, how you're scaring yourself, and then working through what you know is actually true about you, and how do you take action based on what's in alignment with you. Because yes, you absolutely can brave face it through it. And let's be clear. There are things in our life that are scary, and we do just kind of have to grin and bear, and we get through it. But also there is such truth in being able to actually break down the fear and to work through it almost in a slightly more, I don't want to say just cognitive manner, because I don't really always say just think your way through something. I do believe that, there's a purpose in using somatic work as well. But when we are thinking about fear, oftentimes we feel like it's black or white. It's either I muscle through it or I don't engage with it at all. And I just want to offer a different way to look at fear. So when we're trying to cultivate this courage or cultivate the way through a fear, the very first thing that we have to do is even notice that it's happening, right? Notice that the fear is there. Notice that the discomfort is there. And once we notice it and we acknowledge it, it's important to then pause and to see if we can actually name not just the emotion of fear, but also what thoughts are there. We have to, if we take time to notice it and then name it, that clarity will allow you to then also get to a place of asking yourself, okay, if I'm feeling fear and this is the thoughts that are coming up, also, how is it that I'm scaring myself? Like, what is the worst thing that can happen here? So like, for instance, if we think about saying, I'm feeling anxious. It's like, I'm noticing that a part of me is feeling anxious because I am worried about how I will be perceived in this presentation, which is a great example. I actually just am coming off of giving a talk just about 30 minutes ago. And absolutely that comes up and came up, I'm fearful of how I'm going to be perceived. Okay. And I'm feeling this fear because I'm stepping into something new. For me, in this particular instance, I knew that I have never given this particular talk before. And it's something that I'm unfamiliar with. Now, if I allowed the fear to just overtake by just saying, well, I feel fear, and I could have just totally not engaged in the talk at all, or I could just muscle through it and not be conscious about it. But actually, by paying attention to the fact that I was anxious and I was feeling fear because this particular presentation is unfamiliar to me, I'm now creating space between myself and that fear. And now I can take time to actually ground in the present moment, which is exactly what I did before I got on the presentation, and be aware of what's happening for me. But also, by doing it this way, the next time that I have a presentation like this, I'm not going to have those same self-doubt and the fear creep up in the same way. I might have nervous energy because it's just, getting in front of people has a bit of excitement and nervous energy to it, but the fear I will have worked through the fear. If I had just muscled through it, I'm almost trying to just push past it. I don't actually process it. And so the next time it comes up, I have to go through it again. So by taking the time to say, okay, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, and how can I actually, what is it that I'm most afraid of? How am I scaring myself? What's actually true? What's really the truth here is the fact that this is new and unfamiliar. And then I can also go into what's true, which is, well, I've prepared the talk and I know what I want to say. And, oh, hey, Kamini, by the way, you don't control how other people are going to perceive you anyway. Even if you give the most flawless talk, there is no control over whether or not I'm going to be able to be perceived in a positive way or a negative way. So I can release any of that. And so it's just important for me. And in this particular case, I then took an empowered action, which is I value the message that I'm going to be presenting today. And I value being able to offer that to people and to be in service of people. And so I was able to step into that courage. So again, didn't wipe away the fear, but it allowed me room to step into the courage to get in front of the camera and to produce and to present what exactly I wanted to speak on. So when we're thinking about fear and we're thinking about courage, instead of only looking at muscling through it, instead, what if you were to follow the steps of noticing it, naming it, grounding yourself in the present moment, and then taking an aligned action forward? By utilizing that framework, you actually recreate a different relationship with fear as well as with courage. It starts to take on a new meaning. If you would like to talk with me about how coaching can help you maybe work through fear or work through other things that might be holding you back, by all means, feel free to book a time with me at any time at coachwithkamini.com. And until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening to Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. For more information, book a chat with Kamini at www.chatwithkamini.com or visit her website at www.kaminiwood.com. You can also find Kamini on Facebook or Instagram. Username It's Authentic Me. Thank you for listening.